So I just got in from a short trip fishing with Brad Hawthorne today. We got into some smallmouth, and he's gonna share a few tips on how to catch more fish right now on swim baits. And of course, in Brad Hawthorne style, he's gonna get into some first cast magic. All right, Brad, you called the cast. Oh no, did you really?
Yep, I got him. What? Yes. I told you, dude.
You totally called the cast.
I did. It's not a whopper, but it's oh, there's ones chasing it, Nick. You see that? Oh, yes. So, what we're doing is, in case you guessed it, it is swim bait season on Mille Lacs. Look at that guy, bit the tail right off. But that's your slurp head right there. I'm gonna get a new plastic on there, and what we're doing is basically chucking baits in that 2 to 6 foot of water, casting, medium retrieve, and just letting the fish go. And you're getting smallmouth, you're getting walleye, I mean, you're getting a few pike doing this. So the next time you guys want to come up to Mille Lacs, you want to get your kids on some fish, you want to just have fun, buy some slurp heads, throw some plastic on it, impulse, whichever, and throw them out there. It's a chuck and wind program. It's about as easy as fish gets all year. So come on out here to do it. Just remember, 2 to 6 feet, medium fast retrieve, your head size, 1/4 to 3/8, and with those slurp heads, they have a nice plastics holder on them, so your plastics don't slip all over. So anyways, we're gonna catch a few more fish. We're gonna give you a few more tips for when you're coming up to Mille Lacs for the next couple of weeks, so you can get on them ASAP.
All right, now first things first, Brad is gonna cover down on some location and cover types that you should be looking for right now.
You're looking for reed to rock, sand to rock, anything in those transitions. And the cool part about Mille Lacs is, if you don't have side imaging, you can visually see these areas. And a lot of times when you can see these areas, you're too close to them. So you need to back off them. Usually if you see fish in an area and you spook them, give it 20 minutes, come back, and those fish will fall back into line and you'll be able to catch them. But you're looking for those transitions, rock to sand, sand to weed, sand to reed, anything like that, and you will catch fish. One thing to remember is a lot of these fish are coming off their beds. We have about half the fish on the beds, half the fish off the beds, and that's kind of the program we're running here. So remember that when the fish come off their beds, they're on the chew, they're gonna be eating swim baits and just like crazy for the next couple of weeks. And that is, I call it the chuck and wind program every year. 1/4 3/8 head, make sure you have a bunch of different colors. And actually I'm gonna show you why a good head is really important. See that dual keeper on that jig? That is super, super, super important, because I want that locked right on that plastic, because when a fish pecks at it, I don't want him pulling down, because if he pulls the plastic off the jig, it renders it ineffective. You know, the jig will start to spiral, things like that. So you want to have a good hook keeper on the jig. And quite simply, you get into these areas, you fan cast around, catch a few fish, and then move on to the next one. So remember, if you come into an area, you're like, man, that looked really good, you think you might have spooked the fish out, give it 20 minutes, come on back, and more than likely, they'll be right back there waiting for you.
It's hard for me to overemphasize how important stealth can be this time of year, especially with the fish up in the shallow waters, getting heavily targeted. On lakes like Mille Lacs, there's a ton of fishing pressure, which really only adds to the problem.
So with swim bait fishing, you guys that are new to swim bait fishing, the one thing I will tell you that's a huge, this is a way better fish.
You want a net?
I'm probably gonna need a net on this one. No, I'll get it. Always make the longest cast possible. Position your boat to where you're, casting 110, 120, 130 feet to these fish. You want to stay away from them. You want to have that stealth going on. You want to the worst thing you can do is get in there and make a bunch of noise with your boat, with your trolling motor, with anything. That's what you don't want to disturb these fish right there. And that is another beautiful Mille Lacs smallmouth right there. So always make the longest cast possible match the color of your head and the color of your swim bait to the day you have going on right now. Right now, what's working is natural hues, a little bit of white, a little bit of pink, right on that slurp head. You'll see that, like that right there, that little bit of pink is absolutely key to getting bit right now, is a little bit of pink, a little bit of fleck, and your my go-to swim bait by far is right there. Like, I call these utility swim baits. These are chuck and wind baits. I keep them in my pocket. Chuck them, you get 5-10 fish out of each bait. If you're going out with the kids, if you're going out and just try to pop a dozen or so smallmouth, grab some Northland Slurp heads, bag of Impulse, get out there, start chucking and winding, and you're gonna catch fish. But remember, always, seems simple, always make the longest cast possible. If you're just throwing your jig 50 feet, chucking and winding, your bait's not spending enough time in the water. So make those 100, 150 foot casts. Bomb that swim bait out there, give it that medium fast retrieve back, and you will catch bass and you will catch walleyes out here on Mille Lacs. And now, so just a reminder, our water temps are creeping up. We got about 65. Guessing we're probably gonna hit about 70 degrees by the weekend. So this swim bait bite is going to improve as we get to the weekend. So you guys coming up here, like I always shoot these videos, we're always a day late, dollar short. Swim bait bite gets better as the water warms. So day or two from now, come Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all this stuff is gonna play for the next couple of weeks. So come on up here, enjoy the swim bait fishing for bass and walleye.
This was a really short smallie session. We actually just snuck out for a couple hours in between a couple of Brad's guide trips, but we did get into some fish. Even the camera guy here caught a few, and I had some audio problems with my mic, so you won't get to hear me talking, but you do get to see some of this catch and B-roll action. So anyway, let's get back to some of the tips from Brad.
Woo, another one on the swim bait. That's a better one.
All right, pure chaos. I got a net.
Oh, thank you, sir. Well, as I said, it is swim bait season on Mille Lacs, and look at how, I mean, they're eating them. When they're chowing them like that, that tells you you're 100% dialed on your presentation. And that's the one thing to remember with swim bait fishing. It's easy. Don't make it any more complicated than what it is. Make the longest cast possible. Use whatever color heads are working that day. I like natural colors, the brown hues, the white, black, a little bit of pink, a little bit of orange. All that stuff on your heads will help you, catch more fish. It's what gives fish something to focus on. So get out here with the kids, get out with your family, get out here with your buddies, put on a bunch of swim baits, grab yourself some Northland Slurp heads, start chucking them, medium fast retrieve in 2, 6, 8 foot of water, wherever you want, and you're gonna start catching fish. This is the heydays on Mille Lacs where you can come out, chuck swim baits and catch fish pretty much all day. Now for you live bait fishermen, if you guys wanna come out, the bobber bite is really heating up. So go out there, put those leeches underneath those corks, use some RZ jigs, green's been working good. Get out there in that 22 to 28 foot of water, mark your fish, side image them, throw those corks on them, especially in those evening hours, morning and evening hours, and you guys are gonna have an absolute blast. So if you guys like this video, hit that subscribe button down below for more from me and the rest of the Northland team. So take it easy, go catch some fish.